Hi, this is Kelly.
And this is Jenna.
And you're listening to ODFM.
This episode is one dial from murder. This is a story out of Gainesville, Florida.
Oh, Florida, man.
We could just do a podcast or an entire season just on Florida stories.
Mm-hmm. We could do Daytona. All the D's.
Right. Oh my God, you're right. We could. Mm-hmm. But they're good stories.
They're so good.
This is Gainesville, Florida, which is best known for the University of Florida. But from my research, there are sections of what's called swamp country.
Ew.
which are neighborhoods filled with more rugged individuals, should we say?
Gotcha. Okay.
The kind who typically have gun racks in their pickups. Mm-hmm. A criminal investigator, who will come up later in our story, he says, he was quoted saying, when they call the police in, it's usually after the fact.
Oh, that makes sense.
This kind of area. Mm-hmm. It's more to clean up the situation. It's not, the situation is happening.
We should probably make a report about this.
Right. The situation's already happened.
Yeah. Okay.
So my story here begins in the early 1970s with the Sims family. Not to be confused with The Sims, that was the popular game.
TV show. Oh, you're right.
No, not The Simpsons.
It is the game. Yeah.
The game, The Sims, right?
So good. Mm-hmm.
So this is the Sims family, but these are real people. So we have Frank and Iris Sims and their daughters, Deborah and Marlene.
Okay.
Very, very tight-knit family. The sisters were only a year apart in age, and they were best friends.
Aww.
Yeah, they're very close.
So that seemed... they're so close.
It's going to factor in somewhere.
Okay.
In the early 1970s, Frank, who was an insurance agent, moved the family from Alabama.
Franks and beans.
Sorry. Why? I don't know. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
He moved the family from Alabama to a trailer park just outside of Gainesville, Florida.
Okay.
The locals called that neighborhood, the trailer park neighborhood, Batie Hill, after a man named Verdi Ree Batie.
Verdi Ree. Okay.
He was a tree surgeon, which I think is a very fancy name for what he probably really did.
Probably.
And he lived there with his 10 kids. So they were a good portion of the neighborhood themselves.
Mm-hmm. It's like
I would guess that's more than a
gang.
I'm guessing that's more than a double wide. That might be like a quadruple wide. Like, how many people can you fit?
How many wides can you get in there?
Yeah, how many wides can you get? So anyway, one of his sons, Gerald Batie, was quoted saying, "My father was a rowdy." I didn't even know that you could use that as a noun. He was a rowdy.
Okay.
When the police got called, they never sent one car. They always sent several.
Oh, so, well, yeah.
Right. Just trying to give you a feeling of where we are here in Florida.
It's Verdi again, guys.
Verdi, right?
Get your seatbelts on.
The youngest Batie boy, Cecil. He was also a rowdy.
Oh. He's a
rowdy.
Absolutely, he's a rowdy.
So Cecil, he liked to drink. He liked to fight. He dropped out of school to work with his father in the tree business.
Good times.
The business of trees.
Well, it pays well. I'll tell you that.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. The younger Sims daughter, Marlene, caught his eye.
Hey, baby.
Right. And despite a 6-year age difference, they began dating, which, when you're in high school, 6 years is a long
time.
I mean, that's 7th grade to senior.
Oh,
I mean, that's
absolutely.
a good...
Ooh, there's a lot of maturation time going on there.
They began dating. Marlene was 15 when she got pregnant.
Oh, girl.
So she dropped out of school and they got married. And Cecil was 21.
Oh, Lord, this is not going anywhere good.
So he could legally drink and she didn't have a driver's license yet. I just realized that as I was looking at the ages.
Yikes.
It's a big...
to be a mom and not have a driver's license.
Oh, God, right?
A little rough, but okay.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
They ended up having 2 sons together. They had a second child, too.
Okay.
But the marriage didn't last.
What?
Shocker. Right. According to older brother Gerald Batie, this is a great quote. I had to put this in verbatim. One day, Cecil came home and she had packed up the kids and moved in with his best friend, Ralph Smith.
Another rowdy.
Another rowdy.
Oh, God.
He spent all these years waiting on Marlene to come back. And after she split up with Ralph, if she'd need anything done, he'd do it. One day, I said to him, Cecil, why don't you just walk up to Marlene, give her a great big hug and a big juicy kiss and say, Marlene, darling, if there's anything you want from me from now on, just kiss my ass. He got mad at me and said he loved Marlene.
Oh,
so
well.
Marlene was done with him and he was still holding up.
He was still in love. This so much reminds me of Trailer Park Boys.
Probably still going to.
Yeah. Okay. It gets better.
There was an ugly, drawn-out custody battle between Marlene and Cecil. Marlene claimed that Cecil beat their older son with a board.
Oh, my God.
Cecil denied it.
Okay.
Now, after the divorce, Cecil supposedly stopped drinking, went to night school, and even started coaching Little League. Like, when she left him, he was like, I'm straightening up my life,
shit together. Yeah.
Right.
Good.
But they're still, so they're divorced. She's already moved on. So they're still fighting over the kids.
Is Ralph in the same trailer park?
I would imagine. I would imagine he is.
Just down the street.
Right. I think they were all kind of.
They're all right there together.
So now the older Sims daughter, Deborah, who also went by Debbie, she also dropped out of high school to get married.
Oh, ew. I feel a trend.
Yeah. Debbie was known to be a bit wild. A rowdy, if you will.
She's rowdier.
I don't know if is rowdy just a, do they only use that for the males? I don't know. Maybe. They didn't describe her.
Rowdette.
Rowdette. This was a little side note, but I thought it gave you insight to who Debbie was. Once she took a neighbor's teen daughter shopping in Jacksonville, and the girl came back with a tattoo. And her parents were understandably upset.
Yeah, didn't know we were shopping for...
Right. Yeah.
Permanence.
Look, I just thought you were going to take her to, like, Deb, right? And like, I'm sure Claire's. I think Claire's was around, right? I'm sure they went to Claire's. Yeah. They thought maybe she would get some nice big hoop earrings or something. No. She came back with a tattoo.
Also at the mall.
Right, exactly. By the time Debbie was 19, she was bored with her marriage. Because she'd already been married for a couple of years by the time she was 19.
She's like, I've matured now.
Right, exactly.
I have grown up.
And her tastes had changed.
And well, yeah.
Right. So she started dating 31-year-old Joe Banister, who was 12 years older than her.
Yeah, so she's just like, no, I'm going to increase the range because it didn't work. It wasn't enough last time.
Joe had served for 5 years in the U.S. Air Force and was working as a telephone installer for Western Electric.
Okay.
He had already been married twice.
Uh-oh. Another red flag.
Notice a pattern with all these people?
Yeah.
Marriage is very temporary.
Maybe we should not marry. It's okay
Maybe
to
we
date.
should just date for a while. We could just test things out. Right?
Oh, God.
When Debbie's husband found out that she had been having an affair, she left him and they divorced. She just was like, oh, you're not cool with this? Well, then I guess I'll leave. And she moved in with Joe.
Shocker. Oh.
Right. And so in 1978, Debbie became Joe's third wife.
Uh-oh.
Her second marriage, his third marriage.
And
he's only 31. She's only 19.
Oh, my God.
I mean, at the rate they're going, by the time they're in their 50s, they're going to be on like
7,
4s and 5s.
8.
Right, 7.
Oh, my God.
Reminds me of the guy from, what was the story from South Carolina? Remember where the family couldn't even remember how many times he was
married? At least, they thought maybe at least 7, but they don't know.
Maybe they're all related. Yeah, it's really bad.
Except that guy was like a millionaire, so.
These people are not.
No.
They are not.
I figured that out.
Despite the unconventional start to their marriage, Joe and Debbie Banister actually started living the American dream. They had a nice home in a suburb of Gainesville.
Wow.
She got a really good job as a loan officer at Sun Bank.
Wow.
He was still working at Western Electric. He was just, rising through the whatever.
Yeah.
And they had 2 children together, a boy and a girl.
Okay, so now she has 4 kids?
No, she has 2. Her sister has the other 2.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right,
gotcha.
they're sisters.
Okay.
So they both have all kinds of stuff going on. But after a few years, a now 29-year-old Debbie told a friend that she was frustrated with her marriage. Again.
Okay.
She told her friend that Joe was a really nice guy, but not what she wanted or needed. She complained that Joe would come home from work, grab a beer, and collapse on the couch.
Well, that's better than beating her, whatever happened with...
Right, and they have a good...
A good life, yeah.
So she was like, nope, not for me.
Okay.
Deborah and Marlene were still very close with each other.
Okay,
through all these marriages. They're still besties, and they're still close with their parents.
Okay.
In the spring of 1984, Marlene, who's now 28, I think they were a year apart, so we got 28 and 29.
Okay, right.
She's still in this ugly custody battle with her first husband, Cecil Batie. And so they were about to go back to court over something else. I mean, they just...
Oh my God, their kids are almost grown probably at this point.
I think they got to be, you know what, I'm not sure. I know they still needed babysitters. So they were probably like, they weren't babies anymore, but they were probably like elementary school kids or something. Yeah. So recently, Cecil went to the school and took one of their boys from the school. So I guess they're going back and forth. They're fighting over custody and who has them when and all that kind of crap. And yeah, I guess Cecil went to the school and pulled one of the boys out of school and took him home. And that really pissed her off, right? Yeah. So Marlene's livid. So she tells her sister Debbie that she's so frustrated and she just wished Cecil was dead. Okay. That's not that abnormal to say. Sure. People say that all the time. Yeah. A few days later, Debbie told Marlene she knew someone who could kill Cecil. Oh, you know how you wanted him dead? Right. FYI. I know a guy, right? Debbie had seen an ad in Soldier of Fortune magazine. What, an ad? Yes. So I looked it up because I'd heard of Soldier of Fortune, but I didn't know a lot. So from Wikipedia, Soldier of Fortune is a monthly U.S. periodical founded in 1975 as a mercenary magazine devoted to worldwide reporting of wars. Okay. That's what it's devoted to. Okay. But there's a classified section. There's a classified section. Okay. Right? Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. So Debbie called a number in an ad, and the man had said that anything was possible if the price was right. Oh, shiz. Dude. Right? On January 6th, 1985, Cecil Batie, 33 years old, was murdered. Oh, shit. He was shot through the front window of his home while he was sleeping on the couch, like right there in the living room watching TV. This guy's a sharpshooter. Right. He was shot twice in the head with a .22 caliber rifle. Oh. All I was doing was laying on the couch watching TV. Right through the glass. Apparently. Had a big picture window. I have pictures of the picture of the I have pictures, of the picture window. Okay. Pictures of the picture window. So of course, police questioned Marlene. Yeah, they've got this relationship. The ex, right? She told police, quote, "I'm glad the son of a bitch is dead, but I didn't kill him." I might have paid to kill him, but I didn't do it. I feel real bad for my kids because they lost their father. Yeah, she's real torn up about it. We've got some mourning to do. She did not attend her ex-husband's funeral, and on the first business day after the murder, she called his insurance company and was furious when she found out that Cecil had recently removed her as the beneficiary of his $30,000 life insurance policy. $30,000, come on. So she was like, "Son of a bitch! Yeah, God damn it! All that work, I paid $30,000. I know exactly. I'm not even going to come out, with anything left over." Oh God. Okay. Less than a month later, just before midnight on February 2nd, a 911 call came into the Bradford County Sheriff's Office reporting a car in a drainage ditch on a remote stretch of highway. The headlights were on and the motor was still running. Uh-oh. So they called it in thinking, this can't be good. Someone's hurt. When the Florida Highway Patrol went to investigate, they found the car, headlights on, motor running, okay. There appeared to be very little damage to the outside of the vehicle. The driver, a middle-aged man, was slumped over the steering wheel of his car. His hair was matted with blood, and he had no pulse. Oh, shiz. So officers pulled the man out of the car and tried unsuccessfully to resuscitate him. Rose. So they searched and found his wallet and identified the man as Deborah's husband, Joe Banister. Uh-oh.
Oh, well, Is this a 2-for-1?
2-for-1. Buy one, get one?
Yeah.
It's a BOGO.
God. I love BOGOs. Oh, shit.
Officers were puzzled as to what caused Joe to drive off the road. There was no evidence of a crash or interaction with another vehicle, but the driver's side window of Joe's car was broken.
Jeez, this person likes shooting from a distance.
At 4:30 a.m., Florida Highway Patrol Commander Winston Barber went to Deborah's home to break the news. Debbie cried as she told him that she and Joe had spent the night out with friends, but they drove home separately. And when Joe didn't come home, she called the police to report him missing. She asked where the body was. And when she was told that Joe's body had been taken to the county morgue for an autopsy, her demeanor changed. She told Commander Barber, well, I'm not going to agree to an autopsy. And when he was like,
you have no choice, babe.
Right. She said, well, I don't want them all cut up.
I see.
And he goes, he informed her, well, it's not up to you. It's a matter of procedure.
Yeah, you don't get to choose what happens. Sorry, babe.
Right. Commander Barber was quoted saying, that was the first time I delivered a death message and the victim's relative was upset about an autopsy.
That is a major red flag there.
Yeah, that's not at all odd or suspicious. I thought right now we could just think about that for have a little break.
Hi there, I'm Megan.
And I'm Danielle.
And we are Crime and Roses.
We are a true crime and Bachelor franchise recap podcast.
Yeah, we're both.
We are two Georgia attorneys watching and recapping all things Bachelor just for you.
So we're talking Bachelor, Bachelorette,
Bachelor in Paradise, Winter Games, Summer Games, all the games.
Basically any show that ABC comes up with and forces us to watch, and then we'll release a true crime episode connected to what we've seen on the show that week.
So if you don't like true crime, we have The Bachelor. And if you don't like The Bachelor, we have true crime.
And if you don't like either,
we're probably not the podcast for you, and that's okay.
So if you're into one of those things, both of those things, come check us out as we combine our two favorite things into one-stop listening shop for you.
So find us on your favorite podcatcher and on social media at Crime and Roses, and email us at crimeandroses@gmail.com.
Bye. Love you. Mean it.
36 hours later, the autopsy revealed that 41-year-old Joe Banister died from 2 gunshot wounds. The first shot grazed the back of his head. The second shot went through his brain and caused his immediate death.
Oh, well, that's good at least. I mean, after the first one, he's probably like, what the hell was that? And then boom.
Yes.
Yikes.
There was a .22 caliber bullet still lodged in his skull.
Ow.
So his death was reclassified as a homicide. So Don Denton of the Bradford County Sheriff's Department said he was dreading going to Deborah Bannister's house to say, ooh, your husband was actually murdered, right?
Right.
Because he expected her to be in total shock and all this.
She wasn't a bad person.
Instead, she questioned him about the caliber of the murder weapon.
Oh my God, Deb.
And so Denton was quoted as saying, now I'm in shock.
Yeah, no shit.
I bet you were. I'm sorry, what did you ask?
What?
I'm sorry, he was actually killed. He was shot. Really? What caliber?
I'm disappointed in her.
I know, right? Debbie.
Do better. Do better, Deb.
Investigators received a tip from Ralph Smith, Marlene's estranged boyfriend, the one she left Cecil for, but now she's not with him either. She's moved on again. But Ralph Smith, because he knows everybody, they're all from Beatty Hill.
They're all from the trailer park. All right.
They're all from the same trailer park. So he told police that at Joe's funeral, Deborah showed up with a man named John Wayne Hearn.
Ew.
I don't know why that.
John Wayne anything is
it's
not
never
okay.
a good sign, right? John Wayne, do yourself a favor when you have a son. Don't name him John Wayne. It doesn't end up well.
No. I mean, the original John Wayne, yes. Everyone else, not so much. Don't do it.
So this was John Wayne Hearn. She introduced him as a long-lost cousin, though no one had ever heard of him before. And, they all came from the same trailer park. And somehow he was never brought up before.
Weird.
They also acted inappropriately with each other.
Ew, like touchy-feely.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
So that was weird. He helped Deborah with the funeral arrangements and even photographed the family at the ceremonies, which I always thought was
Is this
really
like a wedding
weird.
or...
Right? Like, I mean, I have seen that before where people take pictures in front of the casket. I get it. Yeah, I get that. I get the part where sometimes, I've heard my family say it before, we only see each other at weddings and funerals.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? I've seen it, you know, but, and I mean, so if you want to go step outside and like take a picture together, that's cool. But I've seen pictures in front of the casket and that's freaking weird. I'm sorry.
I know, it weirds me out.
I'm just like, that is so inappropriate. I mean, because someone's ass is in the
someone's
person's face while they're sitting there, they're backed up to the casket.
Yes.
Sorry, it's just not right. This one was weird too. He even took a photo of Deborah holding a single red rose standing in front of her husband's grave.
Oh. Do you accept this rose?
It's just like really weird. What? It was like she was posing for a prom picture or something. Oh. But the grave's behind her.
Oh,
like, what the frick is that?
Not okay.
Glamour shot.
This is my wake glamour shot.
Right, exactly. So weird.
Yikes.
Then a call came in from the nearby Alachua, I think it's Alachua, County Sheriff's Department, reporting that Joe Banister had been the in-law of another murder victim, Cecil Batie, in Gainesville.
Oh, how odd. Gosh,
Two guys, brother-in-laws, both murdered within like 3-4 weeks of each other. That's not weird, right?
Not at all. May as well use the same guy.
Yeah. Residents of Beatty Hill reported seeing John Wayne Hearn at the Sims home shortly before Cecil's murder.
Oh, shit.
So they're like, yeah, you know, we remember seeing him before even that happened.
Oh, no.
And then he came as the long-lost cousin. This is weird. So police, of course, began looking into this Hearn fellow.
Good.
John Wayne Hearn was a 38-year-old truck driver and self-described photographer from Atlanta.
Well, I'm a self-described surgeon.
Exactly. Right.
On the weekends.
Right. I'm really good at this. Where did you learn? Oh, I'm self-taught and everything.
Self-taught. I looked at
I'm awesome. Right. I've checked, though. I'm good.
I'm good. I watched some YouTube videos.
Right.
Oh, no.
He served as a Marine sergeant in Vietnam. He even received a Purple Heart.
Wow. Okay.
He had been married 4 times.
Oh, God. What the fuck?
I know. 4 times.
Stop it.
And was currently living in an empty studio outside of Atlanta.
Okay. This is his photography studio.
4 times.
4 times.
With his, just taking pictures.
Time to give up, dude.
He was involved in a long custody battle for his 8-year-old son, Wayne. I know, it's such a hot mess.
Oh, my God. They all are.
Right. And the 8-year-old son lived with Hearn's own mother in South Carolina.
Oh,
so I don't really
he's
understand.
Fighting his own mom, maybe.
It was just really, I don't know. It was very weird, but
bad situation.
Police found out he was on the radar of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation for placing ads in Soldier of Fortune.
I think I know who he is.
One ad read, ex-Marine, 67 to 69, Nam vet, ex-DI weapons specialist, jungle warfare, high-risk assessments, U.S. or overseas.
Well,
It did not say BOGO, by the way.
Oh, damn it.
BOGO! Right. This weekend only.
Kidnap and kill.
God. So police brought John Wayne Hearn in for an interview. He claimed his relationship with Deborah was strictly platonic and that he was with his mother and son in South Carolina on the night of Joe Banister's murder.
Okay.
Investigators traveled to South Carolina to interview Hearn's mother, Mary Watson, in person. She verified his alibi and said that she did not know any Deborah. So investigator Farnell Cole, he's the one from before that said they call us after the fact.
Oh, right. Thanks,
Farnell Cole knew that she was stonewalling and he got frustrated.
He could tell.
And so he took a break and walked down the hall from the interrogation room.
Oh.
And he saw John Wayne Hearn's 8-year-old son, Wayne, coloring in a coloring book, waiting for his grandma.
Mm-hmm.
So he just kind of struck up a conversation with the kid. He was like, so you live in South Carolina with your grandma? And the kid's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I live in Florida, by Mickey Mouse. And Wayne said, oh, I just went to Disney World to see Mickey Mouse last weekend. And he's like, oh, you did? He's like, yeah, I went with Daddy, new mama, and new brother and sister.
Whoa. Who knew mama and who knew brothers?
Yeah,
and
what?
Sisters?
And
what? Where?
So investigator Cole took out a picture of Deborah Banister and said, do you know who this is? And he said, yeah, that's my new mama.
My God, this poor kid. Okay.
Yeah, they forgot to tell the kid what the story was. Always make sure your kids are part of the story.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Rookie mistake.
Oh, my God.
Everybody's got to be in on the story.
You got to tell everyone. Practice.
When investigator Cole went back to Mary Wilson and said, your grandson just told me this, she broke down.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
You're right.
So she's like, oh, all right. And then literally just spilled everything.
She sucks
like
with this
a book.
too.
Just right.
You're right. This sucks.
So, she even gave police recordings of phone conversations between her son John and Deborah.
What?
There are differing, I read it in different places and it came up different ways. But basically what happened was she had a taping system installed on her phone that automatically recorded all calls. Now,
oh my God.
I read that John installed it because of the custody battle. So in case there was a conversation, right? Okay. I read that she installed it and that she was just really snoopy. Like, I don't know. Basically, every phone call that was made.
Oh my God.
Was recorded. And this was like before in some places they called it an answering machine, which you could do that before. You could just turn it on, right? No matter what.
Yeah, and start recording.
But this wasn't even the answering machines that had those little micro tapes. These were the full cassette tapes.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say the reels like the police.
No, it wasn't a reel. No. We were in the mid 80s. So they had the regular cassette tapes. But they said that she pulled out a box and she just had hundreds of cassette tapes of phone calls.
God.
I'm sure John Wayne was pissed to be like, you have been collecting all this shit. This is really incriminating crap, dude.
Hilarious.
The recordings revealed that John and Deborah were romantically involved. That was pretty obvious.
What? No.
That is brand new information.
I caught on.
And Deborah was heard giving details about her husband's schedule and when might be the best time to kill him.
That's not suspicious.
That's not at all. Mary Watson also gave detectives a photocopy of a $1,000 check made out to her son but had been mailed to her.
Wow. She had a photocopy of it. Oh, that is odd.
I have a feeling she was suspicious, that she was either nosy or suspicious.
Yeah. Or she really liked to keep good records. Yeah.
And so it was mailed to her. So she looked into the return address and it was sent to her from a man named Bob Black, which sounds like a code name.
Totally does.
Bob Black. Bob Black from Bryan, Texas. So detectives contacted police in Bryan, Texas, and found out that, get this, Bob Black's wife, Sandra, had just recently been gunned down in her home by an unknown assailant.
Oh.
What are the odds?
Very, very weird.
That's so strange.
Maybe it's buy one, get one, get one.
That is a good sale. I would do that.
Buy one, get two free.
That's
right.
That's good.
Yeah,
when I see that at the grocery store, it makes me nervous. I'm like, what are these already expired?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Oh, they usually are, but yeah.
They're like, it expires tomorrow. Okay. John Wayne Hearn was now connected to 3 homicides. So
Johnny.
A warrant was issued for his arrest.
Finally. Okay.
He turned himself into police in Brazos County, Texas on March 15th, 1985.
Heading down to Texas.
A day after questioning, he confessed to everything.
Oh.
So this ex-Marine.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Ex-Marine.
Don't you practice for this?
Specialist. It took him one day of questioning and he was like, all right, you got me. Let me tell you everything.
Yeah, I thought they were trained for interrogations. No,
there
not so much.
There were different places that said that although he was supposed to be this tough Marine, he kind of had a baby face. And he was prone to crying.
Oh. Okay.
I'm picturing like this little golden book called The Very Emotional Marine, or like
that'd be awesome. Stickers. Oh my God.
Sad little soldier boy
with the big
you know, like they have the happy little or the pokey little puppy.
Yes, pokey little puppy.
Right, and there's this sad little soldier. This is where things get fun because John spills it all.
This is fun. Yay.
This is fun.
Yay, yeah. John.
Woo. John told police that he had placed a $40 ad in the September 1984 issue of Soldier of Fortune.
That paid back
looking for work as a bodyguard. He had other soldier buddies said, "Oh man, you can make cash. You can be a bodyguard.
Yeah. Great ROI.
Rock stars. It pays really well."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Instead, he was inundated with 10 to 20 calls a day asking him to participate in various crimes.
Oh my God.
The most popular one being, "I want you to kill somebody."
Oh my God.
Could you imagine?
Okay.
Right. He was like, you know.
I wanted to be a bodyguard, but I guess
I just wanted to be a bodyguard.
Okay.
Right? Apparently, he didn't agree to any of these.
Oh.
Right?
Well.
But then a sexy sounding lady.
Oh, well, that's all it takes.
Named Deborah called him in October of 1984. God. You know, he's really good at picking women.
I mean, yeah.
He's got 4 ex-wives. And so he thought, maybe this is how I get Mrs. Hearn number 5.
Mm-hmm. She'll stick this time.
So she called saying she was looking for someone to strong-arm her brother-in-law into resolving his custody dispute with her sister Marlene. So she didn't say she wanted to kill somebody. She just wanted, I need someone to apply a little pressure.
Yeah, I need it.
A little pressure.
Give him a noogie. Yeah.
Right. So John and Deborah met for the first time at a Shoney's Big Boy restaurant on Georgia's Highway 75.
So hot. Oh, it's almost as good as White Castle.
Apparently, it was love at first sight for both.
Yum.
And in the middle of their meeting, right there in the restaurant, Deborah leaned across the table and kissed John on the tip of his nose.
Oh.
It was beautiful. It was just like Snow White. I mean, it was just, you know, love's true kiss.
And he's like, "Oh, yes, I will kill anybody for you."
Sure. They quickly began having an affair.
Thanks.
And he made plans to move to Gainesville to be with her. Again, he does not, like, dude, you can date someone.
It's
if anybody gets anything out of these podcasts,
date first.
You can date somebody. You don't have to marry them.
And you can date for years. Did you know?
Oh my God. There are some people who don't get married at all.
Yeah. I've heard they have amazing relationships.
They usually don't end up dead. I can tell you that.
It's true.
We have not told a story of a couple who was not married but were together for 20 years and then one turned on the other. That is, I've not found that yet.
Nope, not yet.
What does that tell you? So if you had any desire to get relationship advice from a true crime podcast,
we are experts.
Right, exactly. According to Bradford County investigator Don Denton, he said, after that kiss, things move along fast. She meets him in November. By December, she's at his apartment and telling everyone her husband is dead, and they haven't even killed him yet.
Oh, okay.
Never say someone's dead until they're dead. I mean,
you might want to wait a little bit, and also, I don't know, don't lead people to that conclusion.
It's like what's his name? Scott Peterson when he was dating, right? And he was like, "Oh, I'm a widow."
Amber or whatever her name is. Yeah.
She was still alive.
Were you though? You know.
Right. Deborah then decided rather than strong-arming her brother-in-law, she wanted John to kill him.
Well, yeah, I mean.
And John said he'd do it for $30,000.
That is the cost of the insurance.
Interesting, right?
Weird. Or the payout, I should say.
This part's really funny, I think. Deborah went back to her family and told her sister Marlene that she had met a nice man and she could get Cecil killed for $30,000.
I can totally help you out. I knew a guy.
I have a new boyfriend. I know I'm still married. I have a new boyfriend. He's super nice. And bonus, he kills people.
$30,000, cheap as can be.
Right. Now, reportedly, this is not verified, but this is what I heard. Their mother, Iris, asked why couldn't he do it for free.
Good point, Iris.
And Marlene later said, her mom said, "What's wrong, Debbie? You lost your touch?"
Wow. Marlene needs to spill. Hilarious, right? Marlene needs to spill the tea. She has some skills, it sounds like.
A week later, Deborah comes back and tells them she had talked him down to $10,000.
Oh, wow. That's romantic.
She bargained. No. She did some wheeling and dealing, like she was at a garage sale.
Yeah.
30. Will you do it for 5? No, I won't do it for 5. 15? 15's still too high. 10? You got yourself a deal.
What if I give you a kiss on the cheek and $10,000?
Right? I just was like, I am terrible at that. I don't like to bargain. Just tell me how much it is, and if I want to pay for it, I will. I'm not good at that. So the fact that, so when people go to like garage sales and Facebook and they're giving offers and stuff, this woman just wheeled and dealed a murder for
a murder.
I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't know you could negotiate.
I didn't know this was it. Well, we have a lot to learn.
Right, exactly. Okay. They all agreed, all right, 10's okay. I mean...
if you're better.
Her mom was really like, come on, Debbie, we've seen you do better, right? But whatever. They all were like, all right, $10,000. Okay.
Yeah, your game is weak, Deb.
So the sisters began brainstorming a plan to come up with the money because these people are not, they don't have $10,000 laying around. So Deborah said, wouldn't it be a shame if Grandma's house burned down while Grandma was visiting us in Gainesville?
Oh, Grandma.
Poor Grandma. Right?
Grandma. Jesus.
Well, how did I get roped into this?
Yeah. Now she's going to have to live with one of you.
Right.
What you think of that?
The sisters discussed the idea with their mom, Iris.
Oh,
and
Iris.
Marlene said later, I told Mom we were going to burn down Grandma's house. And Mom said, well, be careful.
Oh. God, Iris has some stories to tell, I have a feeling.
I'm starting to wonder they didn't say, they just kept calling her Grandma. So I'm wondering, like, was it her mother-in-law? And she's like, all right, I never liked that bitch. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
God.
Or maybe it was her own mother.
It could be. Iris
that
woman
has pissed me off for years.
Yeah, know, right? She's cold, man.
Right. If you wanted to know where Debbie and Marlene got it, right?
They seem almost better than Mom. Jesus.
So the sisters brought Grandma and her cat. They
thank
weren't totally
goodness.
harmless. They brought the cat.
Okay, good.
Down from Santa Rosa Beach in Wilton County, Florida, to their trailer, the family's trailer in Gainesville, the day before Thanksgiving.
Oh, God.
Then they turned around and drove the 5 hours back immediately.
And fried a turkey. That's all it would take.
Yes, no.
Oh.
They went back to the home, spilled varnish remover on the floor, and started a fire.
Oh, God. Those assholes. Poor Grandma.
By the way, their dad was no better because Marlene later said, Dad told us to be real careful and not to get a speeding ticket in Walton County or any place near Walton County that would put us back in the area.
Sage advice.
See, he's looking out for his girls.
He knows.
By the time we got back, it was early in the morning, and my grandma assumed we had just come in when actually we'd been out all night.
Their eyebrows are gone. What? Nothing happened. We're good.
Anybody smell burnt hair? What is that? Are we having barbecue?
Again.
Supposedly, Grandma was really pissed about her house.
I don't blame her. I'm glad she has the cat at least. God.
And she actually supposedly told Cecil Batie and his mother, because, they all lived right around there, that she knew her family had burned down her house, even if she couldn't prove it.
Oh, my God. And they're probably like, oh, here goes Grandma again.
Yeah,
yep. Their stories.
Crazy old bat. They should bring her back to...
Damn kids. They burned down my house. I know them.
You're so good at those voices. God. Shortly after the fire, Marlene and her current husband, Larry Watson... This is a new husband.
I'm like, I don't remember this name.
This would be the second one. So she was married to Cecil. She left Cecil for his best friend, Ralph. Okay. And then at some time, she didn't marry Ralph, but they broke up. Oh. And now she's married to Larry Watson.
I'm glad she held back on one marriage.
I don't know where it is, but I believe he was a construction worker. Anyways, at some point, they got into an argument, and he wound up in the hospital with a serious skull injury.
Oh, wow. Rolling pin?
Yeah, you don't mess with these sisters.
Rolling pins and pans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Marlene claimed he'd hit her, so she ran him down in her van as she tried to escape. This is very Florida.
Wow.
Larry's sister Joyce told police, I think it was done because he heard something she didn't want him to hear.
Oh, well, Grandma, she's all like...
Grandma's just spouting her mouth off. Someone done burned down my house.
I had to burn my house, and now I think they're killing everybody. Just saying. She's forgot her dentures that day.
Oh, God. The assistant state's attorney was quoted saying later, I did consider it very suspicious. He was talked to several times, but he didn't remember anything, and there's not much we can do about that. So that just kind of went away. It was just like another
kind of
weird coincidence. There's a lot of weird coincidences that's happened with these sisters, and I just thought it was funny that she ran him down with the van. I just was like, they have an interesting way of dealing with their problems.
And it's got to be like one of the really bad first run of minivans.
Yeah, right. Oh, God. Meanwhile, the insurance money on Grandma's house came through on January 2nd.
Oh, God. Okay.
January 3rd, Deborah called John in Atlanta. The next day, they met at a Gainesville motel.
Oh, God.
And she paid him $10,000 in
and
$100 bills.
Oh,
right.
Yes, and $100
bills and some touchy feely. Allegedly, I don't know. I don't have that information. I can just assume.
You don't have the video?
No, thank God.
Thank God.
The audio tapes.
But you know who does? Iris.
No, Mary Watson. She's the other weirdo that kept all the tapes.
Yes, that's right, Mary.
Keep up, Kelly.
I know. There's so many of them. I can't.
It's a lot of names. There's a lot of names. He took 3 of those bills and bought a 12-gauge shotgun he found advertised in the Gainesville Sun. They do a lot with ads here. They do a lot of advertising.
This is good time.
That same day, Marlene went over to Cecil's house to pick up her boys for the weekend.
Okay.
She also took with her a metal box that Cecil used to store his insurance papers. Right?
Okay.
And she suggested to the babysitter that she should take off for the weekend.
You probably don't want to be around this weekend. Right. There's some shit going down.
I have the kids. It's cool. You go. I also thought that was really weird because I was like, why would she stay if they were whatever? I don't know. There was weird stuff, right?
She's a nanny.
Right. How did she get? Yeah, I don't know.
The trailer park nanny.
You can walk across the dirt road to your trailer, right?
Yeah.
Then Marlene went to the hospital to pick up Larry, as one does, right? Picks up the other husband.
Sorry, Larry.
Right. And then they all went home and had a nice family barbecue.
At least they're not cooking humans, as far as we know.
As far as we know, right? Exactly. That's a different podcast episode.
We've done that.
Ooh, yeah. In the early morning hours of Sunday, January 6th, John Wayne Hearn took the rifle, walked up to the picture window of Cecil's house, which was just across the street from the Sims family trailer.
Oh, fun. They're all right there.
Yeah, right? He saw Cecil asleep on the couch with the television on. He shot him twice and then left town.
Well, wouldn't everybody hear it? Like right around there?
Yeah. Right? I don't know. I just thought that was really...
Of course, maybe everybody that's their first thing they do in the morning instead of rooster. They're all like...
I would imagine shotgun noises are not...
all that unusual.
Right, exactly. They're like, who's doing it now?
God damn it, Ralph, go back to bed.
It's like fireworks.
Yeah.
They're just
God, it's endless. I hate this time of year sometimes.
I know. All right, so I was going to take a little break.
Okay. Today's episode is sponsored by Relief Factor. Pain from everyday living, exercise, or just getting older is one of the leading causes of trips to the doctor and sleepless nights. It interferes with daily activities and keeps us from spending time with the people we love. If you have everyday pain, it stands to reason you need something you can feel comfortable with taking every day. That's why doctors invented 100% drug-free Relief Factor. Now, tens of thousands of customers are using Relief Factor every day to become mostly or completely pain-free. 100% drug-free Relief Factor features 4 key ingredients that each work on a different metabolic pathway to support your body's natural healing processes to respond to pain and inflammation. Now, you can try Relief Factor too. The 3-week quick start retail price of almost $70 is now available to our listeners for just $19.95. Head to the link in our show notes to find out more. Start your journey to better health and less pain today with Relief Factor.
Now that Marlene's problem was solved.
Yes,
right?
My problems have all been solved.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Deborah asked John to murder her husband.
Well, you know I heard about you.
That worked so well that I think we should just take mine out too.
Can I get in on this deal? Sale.
John later testified. She told me she would give me some money so I wouldn't feel guilty. They paid him for Cecil's murder, but this one was just supposed to be a favor. But she didn't want him to feel bad, so she was going to throw some cash.
Yeah, I'll throw you a couple dollars.
It's like when your friend says, "It's cool. I'll watch your kids for the night."
Cover
They're like,
you.
"Just let me give you like $20." Like,
yeah.
No, really, it's okay. No, I don't want it to feel weird.
Yeah,
thanks. Just take a 20.
Yeah, just take a little bit.
Right.
I'll throw in some Pabst.
Exactly. It's just like that. I'll bring you a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll return the favor sometime. Right.
Yes.
So this is it's just like that, but with killing.
How nice.
So,
I'm glad they didn't leave him hanging.
Right. Deborah also said that she was the beneficiary of Joe's life insurance policy. And she told John they could use the money to build their dream home together.
Oh, the $30,000?
No, this was a different policy.
Oh, okay. This is
they didn't say how much this one was, but they were going to take that and they're going to build their dream home. So
okay, in the swamplands, I'm assuming.
Well, it was going to be a really pretty double wide. With their
I can see it now. Right. Yeah, skylights.
Joe moved down to Gainesville. They opened a joint checking account with Deborah signing her name as Hearn. She's still married, right? John and Debbie took their kids together to Disney World.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? Yeah. The Disney World trip.
This is the one.
Her kids started calling him Daddy.
That's creepy.
How weird is that? So let's see. Mom and Dad are still married.
Oh, that's mean.
They haven't even talked about a divorce, but we're going to go with this other guy to Disney World.
And you need to call him Daddy.
And we're going to call him Daddy.
Oh, that's not going to cause any trauma.
Oh my God. That's just like.
Oh my God.
Whew, okay.
This is parenting fails. Oh
my God. So when Marlene, the younger sister, found out about the plan, she begged Debbie not to do it. So she's like, no. This is gonna be too suspicious, right? So I think we know who has the brains of the two sisters, right? She was like, I think that's a bad idea. This is a little too weird. But Deborah was like, nah, it's good. It was so easy. We got this, right?
Deb.
The plan was Joe and Debbie were going to meet at a dinner party in another town, right? With another couple, right? And they were going to drive separate vehicles so that she could drive. She was going to drop the kids off at Marlene's house. Marlene was going to watch them. So she was going to leave the kids with Marlene and then meet Joe at the dinner party.
Okay.
And then on the way home, when they were in their separate vehicles, John Wayne, was going to run Joe's car into a ravine.
Oh.
And Joe told her if he couldn't make it look like an accident, he would have to use the gun.
Okay. Yeah. Backup plan.
The gun they were talking about actually belonged to Joe, the soon-to-be murder victim.
Oh, no. Okay.
Deborah arranged to give it to John a few days before the murder. So she was using her husband's gun.
Oh my God.
She gave her, so on Saturday, February 2nd, which again was only like 3 to 4 weeks after the first husband was killed, Deborah drops off her children with Marlene, goes to the dinner party. John was waiting on the highway. Around 10 p.m., he saw Deborah driving by and he flagged her down. He asked her, "Are you sure you want me to go through with it?" And she replied, "You better hurry up or you'll miss him." So she was like,
get your head out your ass.
Right.
Take care of business.
I told you.
It only takes one time, bitch.
Right. Okay, so she drives off. So when the moment arrived, John had to improvise because there was too much traffic on the road when he got there, right? So instead...
He really thought this through.
He pulled the AR-7 rifle out from under the seat of his truck, assembled it as he was driving. You're not supposed to text and drive. I'm sure this isn't allowed either.
Yeah, assembling and driving.
He followed Joe Banister when he turned onto a narrow country road and fired the rifle as he was driving.
Jeez, dude.
The first bullet grazed Joe's neck, and he was struggling to keep control of the pickup because I didn't know. And then John fired again, and this time he was killed instantly. And the truck went off the road into a ditch. So there was no running off the road. There was no accident. He was just flat out
just like
shot.
Yeah.
Maybe if the original plan was he just drove off the road and there had been no bullet,
they might have
gotten away with it. I don't know. Then there wouldn't have been the suspicion thing. Then, remember, this is John spilling all the tea, right?
Spilling everything.
He then is telling the police that when an electrician in Texas named Robert Vinoy Black also saw the ad in Soldier of Fortune magazine, he called John and asked if he would murder his wife. And initially, John, is that my dog barking?
That's your dog. Yeah.
Shush.
Yeah.
Podcast. So he called and said, I want you to kill my wife. And initially, John turned him down. But Deborah pushed him to take more contract killing. She's like, why? This is great. You're so good at it. We're making bank. You should do it.
He could go to jail forever, but whatever.
We're building our dream home,
We've got goals, baby. Goals.
Right? So I thought this was odd. So Bob Black was having an affair with his first cousin.
Ew. Stop it.
And offered Jen.
Jen, what you been doing?
I don't know what you're talking about. He offered John $10,000, which only 10. I'm just like, maybe
they're cheap.
You should start, raise your prices. Come on.
Yeah. Demand,
don't sell yourself short.
Supply is short.
Right.
You can demand more.
He was getting all those calls. Obviously, there is a need for this business, right? So anyways, he offered John $10,000 to murder his 36-year-old wife, Sandra. So he could be with his first cousin.
Oh, God, gross. Okay.
So when John called and agreed to the job, Bob Black sent a $1,000 cashier's check as a down payment.
That's
to John's mother.
It's like earnest money.
Right. So this was the cashier's check that came.
I'm serious about this.
But he sent it with a handwritten note that read, if there's any way you could schedule your plans to conclude with my being alibied out of town this weekend, it would help considerably.
Oh, God. I feel like bad for these guys. It's like Rain Man could do a better job.
Oh, God. I know. I'm like, this is... Are you trying? Are you trying to get caught?
Yeah, idiots.
On February 21st. So he murdered the one husband at the beginning of January, the second one at the beginning of February. It's only February 21st.
Oh,
so he went from I want to be a bodyguard to contract killer. And he's got 3 down, right?
Hey, let's get this job going. He's a doer.
Right. Well, maybe if he charged more than $10,000, he wouldn't have to do so many.
True. Good point. Maybe one a year.
Yeah, right?
Charge 60. I don't know.
There you go. Right. On February 21st, John met Bob Black at his home in Bryan, Texas. Together, they ransacked the house to make it look as if it had been robbed.
At least they feel like they're trying a little this time.
Right. They were trying. I don't know if they would have gone to all that trouble had they known there was the handwritten note, basically just laying it all out there. Ooh, I know. So they ransacked the house to make it look as if it had been robbed.
Okay.
Bob gave John some of Sandra's jewelry and her .2 caliber revolver that she kept on her nightstand.
.2 caliber? What does that kill?
I don't know.
A mouse?
Maybe I wrote it wrong.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't. So she had a gun. She had a revolver that she left on her nightstand.
I know nothing, but I was like, 2 caliber sounds like.
Or maybe it's like the same gun that they used in the shark story, where it just bounced off his head.
Yeah. He had a really thick skull.
Yeah. If you haven't heard one dorsal fin for murder, go back and listen to that one.
Get it, girl.
It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Here, take some of her jewelry. Here's her revolver.
Pawn it. Use your own name when you pawn it. So they can track you.
Be sure you tell them Bob sent you.
Oh.
Then Bob left to run errands to create an alibi, of course, right? And he called his wife at work to ask when she'd be home so that they had a time, right? So when Sandra came home, John was hiding in the dining room.
God.
He snuck up behind her, shot her once in the back of the head, and then a second time as she lay on the floor, he shot her between the eyes.
God.
Right?
Whew, you got to be cold.
Honestly, that was cold, but this next part I think is colder.
Oh, shit.
Later that night, when Bob Black came home with his 15-year-old son, he sent his son in first to find his mother.
Stop it.
Thinking it would make his alibi stronger.
What the fuck? No, it's going to make this more trauma for your child that he'll never get over. What an asshole.
Right? He's worried about his alibi. Although, obviously, he doesn't have a lot of respect for other people and lives and feelings because he had his wife murdered. But, you know.
But your own child, you think you'd have something for.
I know, right? Oh, my God. I was just like,
that makes me sick. That poor kid.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I thought that was even colder than the kill shot.
For sure.
Did. Oh, my God. So,
baby.
Later on, police found out that soon after Sandra Black was killed, Deborah Banister was trying to sell her jewelry in Gainesville. Just hold on to it for a little while.
God,
I mean,
you guys.
They were so... I honestly thought about naming this episode if there was a D word that was like for like ballsy. Because I was just like...
I know.
Damn, you guys.
Or
cocky.
Just stupid, cocky.
Well, yeah. Well, that was that too. John Wayne Hearn pleaded guilty to all the murders. Cecil Batie, Joe Banister, and Sandra Black. And since both Florida and Texas had the death penalty, he was offered a life sentence if he agreed to testify in all the related trials.
Okay.
So he was like, all right, I'll cut that deal. Deborah Banister was charged with the murder for hire of her husband and went on trial in August of 1986. Her defense team portrayed her as an unhappy housewife driven by loneliness, who had an affair with this ex-Marine named John, but that she had broken it off.
Oh.
And then that same day, her husband was killed, but she didn't know anything about the murder. It was because she broke off the affair that John was like, well, I'm going to kill her husband then.
Yeah, poor Deb.
But prosecutor Tom Elwell had John as a star witness and evidence to back it up. The jury heard the calls between Deborah and John recorded by the system that was installed on the mother's phone.
Oh, God.
The way I got it figured, it will be an accident, John said on tape. Good, said Deborah. I mean, like...
Yep.
Deborah was found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 17 years in prison for the murder of her husband.
That doesn't seem like a lot.
No, right? That's what I thought. But I guess since she just planned it and
didn't
paid
execute it.
Well, I mean, did she even pay for it? It was kind of a favor. True. She threw him a little cash.
Yeah, a little kiss on the cheek.
I don't know. After that trial, John went to Texas to testify against Robert Black, Bob Black.
Okay.
On February 26th, 1986, a year and 5 days after Sandra's murder, Bob Black was found guilty and sentenced to death.
Whoa. Wow.
Death penalty there, right? Yeah. So he got the death penalty in Texas, but she got 17 years in Florida.
That's bullshit.
So the moral of the story is if you're going to kill somebody, you do it in Florida, not Texas.
See, I thought Florida was pretty bad for death penalty too.
So did I, but
Texas does take the cake for all that. Yeah.
You're right.
They like killing people.
So Deborah, Marlene, and their parents, Frank and Iris Sims, were all charged in connection with Cecil Batie's murder.
Wow.
They all proclaimed their innocence. But then just before trial, Marlene got a little worried and decided to make a plea deal. She pled to no contest to arson and a reduced charge of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. She was sentenced to 5.5 years.
What?
For burning down the grandma's house and then taking that money and using it to conspire to commit murder. But that murder actually happened. It's not like she conspired and they found out.
Oh my God.
It actually happened. So then Frank and Iris pled no contest to a charge of being accessories after the fact. It wasn't after the fact. It was before the fact, but whatever. Yeah. They each got 5 years probation.
What?
again, if you're going to do this, do it in Florida. This was back in 85. Maybe things have changed.
Yeah.
So then Deborah Banister pled no contest to the same conspiracy
She's
charge
like, that worked
as
well.
Marlene, because she was like, yeah, I'll do that. But she was sentenced to 30 years. Remember, she's already a convicted murderer, right? She was sentenced to 30 years to be served concurrently with her previous sentence. So instead of 17, then concurrently means it's all together, right?
Altogether.
So 30 years, right. So she didn't get 47 years. She just went from 17 to 30.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But that was 2 murders. And she's the one who told her boyfriend to go, why don't you go kill the other guy too? We'll make some cash. I mean... Anyways, Bob Black was executed by lethal injection on May 23rd, 1992. That was the murder of his wife, right? Deborah Banister was paroled for good behavior in 2004. She served 9 years of her sentence.
No. Out of a 30-year sentence. No, not okay. No.
Yeah, right? Now 75 years old, John Wayne Hearn is still serving his life sentence at South Carolina's Perry Correctional Institution. He's still there.
Wow.
That's today.
Okay, that's good.
I did find out that Marlene Sims, the sister, she passed away in January of 2020 at the age of 62.
Damn.
Don't know what's become of Deborah Banister. There are also no pictures of these people. So there have been a couple of books written on this story called, like, they've dubbed them the Soldier of Fortune murders. Okay?
Gross.
And there's a couple books. But even with those books and several People articles, like from People magazine, and an episode of Snapped from Oxygen, there are like 4 pictures. I have 2 pictures of Deborah, no pictures of Marlene, 2 pictures of John Wayne Hearn, a very old picture of Joe Banister, and that's it. I don't have. Oh yeah, they're nowhere.
You know
I don't
why?
have anything.
They burned down Grandma's house.
That she had all the pictures.
She had all the pictures.
I wonder if we could get the tapes. I didn't look up the tapes.
The tapes would be good.
Oh, there was one other little interesting thing. Sandra Black's family filed a $107 million gross negligence suit against Soldier of Fortune magazine.
Oh.
The magazine stopped running personal ads in March of 1986. That's probably a good call on that part.
Yeah, let's do that.
A jury awarded the family $9.4 million, which is a lot less than 107.
Wow.
But an appellate court overturned the verdict and the magazine was exonerated.
I get it. I mean, it's not like they were like, this is fine, but...
Well, I know. And it was, I mean, he didn't advertise, murder for hire, but he just said it was weird, right? So,
and there's that whole freedom of speech thing. Yeah.
So, anyways, my sources were the Chicago Tribune, Oxygen.com, People.com, Wikipedia.
What?
And Snapped Season 28, Episode 21.
I'm going to have to watch that
Which all focused on Deborah Banister, which I don't think it's not all her.
No.
I mean, she just happened to be the one who was willing to, romance she was willing to make the call to the ad. She romanced the guy and, she got them a BOGO. I mean, she's really just guilty of being a good shopper. She's just guilty of being a good shopper.
She would be good on that coupon show.
Oh, yeah, right? See, she'd be one of those ones like, I have a friend who's really good at going to, what's it called? CVS. You guys have CVS out there,
yes,
right?
We do. Yeah.
And you know how they have those
the
receipts
long
like,
receipts.
Right, exactly. She is really good at that. And she does like her care bucks or whatever. And she'll go in and she will have bags of stuff. And she'll be like, I paid 11 cents. And I'll be like, whoa. Damn, it is like an art form.
It is.
I would just go with to
dedication.
Watch her. It was beautiful. I mean.
That is dedication. That could have been Deb. She missed her calling.
Right? Instead, maybe she does that now.
Oh, maybe that's it.
What was it? Lori Vallow. Remember Lori? Lori Vallow, the Doomsday Mom.
Oh, right. Yes.
Right. She was on Wheel of Fortune. Did you know that? She was on an episode of Wheel of Fortune.
I did not.
She was on an episode of Wheel of Fortune. Obviously, before she went batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Before all of this happened, right? I wonder. Because nobody knows what became of Deborah after she got out of, prison. Maybe she's on supermarket sweep.
Maybe. You know, the other Deborah I was thinking of is a Chihuahua I met the other day.
I'm sorry, you met a Chihuahua named Deborah?
Debbie. Yeah.
That is awesome. I'm sorry. That was fantastic.
Made me so happy. I was like,
oh my
Debbie.
gosh.
Debbie
the Chihuahua. Yeah, that's one dial for murder. All you got to do is pick up the phone and be like, how much would it cost?
Wow.
Will you do a BOGO? It's January. Will you do a President's Day sale?
Yes, maybe buy one, get two free.
Buy one, get one. You know what? It's that post-Christmas, the price drops on everything.
Ooh, or even Christmas in July. That's coming. That's coming soon.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to all of that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And these crazy ass sisters.
My God.
And like I said, the Snap episode did not even discuss the parents. And I was like, they didn't just come out of the womb being crazy ass like this. They got it from somewhere.
Iris is impressive. I don't know.
Iris is impressive. The dad we're going to go burn down Grandma's house to make some money so that we can kill her husband. Well, you make sure you don't get a speeding ticket because, they will find you.
Thanks for the tips, Dad. God, if I want your advice, I'll ask you.
Next Father's Day card. Thanks for looking out for us, Dad. You always have our best interest at heart.
All right. We'll come back next week. We've got another good episode coming.
Yes. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye. To see images from this story, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at ODFM Podcast, or on our website at odfmpodcast.com, where you'll also find a link to our merch store, where you can get awesome stuff like t-shirts, mugs, stickers, and more.
And if the weekly podcast just isn't enough to fill your ODFM cup full, join our fan club on Patreon for more content like minisodes, bloopers, and discounts at our merch store. That site is patreon.com/ODFM podcast.
And if you do love our bloopers and need more than we naturally do, which is a lot, buy us a glass of wine at buymeacoffee.com/ODFM podcast. Thanks for listening to another episode of ODFM, hosted by Kelly DeVries and Jenna Swanson. Production and editing by Kelly DeVries. Theme music by Eric Swanson. ODFM is a satirical true crime podcast for entertainment purposes only. The stories you hear are serious and true. The comments and opinions are not. We apologize if any of our content is harmful or disrespectful.